Welcome everyone to another episode of Time for BL. This is the podcast where we review movies, TV shows, novels, and comics, all in the boys love genre. If you are as busy as me, or you feel too overwhelmed to move and you want to get back into reading, then I have the app for you. Audiobooks Now is a website that features great quality professional audiobooks from your favorite authors, where you can also discover new ones too. You get access to many fiction and nonfiction titles that you can download or stream and get great discounts on titles if you choose the membership. Use the link in the description to check out the titles in Audiobooks Now with 50% off your first club purchase. You can also download the app. If you hear any noise in the background, it is my kids. I apologize from now. Mr. Young says he's going to try and keep everything quiet for me, but let's see how it goes. So this week, I'm going to be reviewing Cutie Pie, the series. It's a series that's currently running, and actually at the point of recording, I've only seen the first 3 episodes. By the time this is posted, 4 episodes will be up. Why am I posting it now? Why are you recording it now? Why not wait? Well, because surprise, it's Pie Day, March 14th. I had to. I was like, Cutie Pie the series, Pie Day. It works. It works. So for Pie Day, Cutie Pie the series is what I'll be reviewing. And like I said, remember, it's going to be based off of the first 3 episodes and what my initial thoughts are. I'm going to be making sure to post a link to a playlist that I have created where I'll be posting all the episodes, and on my brand new YouTube page, which I don't think I'm going to be posting much on. I'm going to try and post on once in a while, but I'm not going to promise what I know I possibly can't deliver, but I can make playlists on there. So there we go. So when I saw Cutie Pie the series, I recognized someone off the bat. It's Z from Why Are You the series. He played Fighter, Fighter and Tutor and their whole storyline. And so I was like, cool, I'm going to watch this. I'm going to see how he is in that. And then I was like, oh, I recognize that guy too. And he played Blue. And there was a guy who played Dew as well. That is Nat and Max. And I was like, okay, so this is probably from the same studio that did Why Are You the series. Let me see how I feel about this. And then, of course, there's New. He's a newcomer, and he plays Q in Cutie Pie. So, Lian and Kuea, which is Z's character Lian and New's character Q, have been engaged since Q was a baby, basically. Q's grandfather basically came up with this idea, and because his family is very wealthy, Leon's family kind of agreed to it, but at the same time was like, you don't have to do it just because they're wealthy. But as an adult, Lian actually decides he's going to go through with it because he made a promise to Q's grandfather. So I actually like this because I'm sure there's many different BL arranged marriage books and comics and stuff out there, but we really don't see it much in this format of a TV series. So I was actually very happy to see this, especially since it's done with such good production. Something like this, especially like early 2000s, is going to be like really bad camera work, really bad audio, really bad everything, horrible music, horrible acting, but we'll get to that all around. And the studio, I could see, definitely worked hard at this and worked hard at making the script work for the TV series in the ways that they did. They're treating the storyline with a lot of respect, in my opinion, which I really like. In a lot of cases like this, we're going to get just a huge stupid comedy, and in this it has its silly comedy moments, but it's like BL comedy done with really good taste in how it presents its characters. I really liked in one of the very first scene where Z's character Lian is having a meeting because they're looking for a storyline with LGBTQ representation for his company in selling their brand. And somebody wants to make a whole comedy using, LGBTQ plus people, especially transgender people. And he calls it, I was like, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do some stereotypical foolishness. And I'm like, yes, that was perfect. That is great. I love that they set the tone from the beginning with that. They did a really good job with that. But at the same time, even though I really love that the tone that they set and everything, and I'm enjoying the storyline so far, the storyline isn't completely far-fetched and horrible. That some storylines, it's like, where do you even come up with this storyline? I'm like, I can follow this is actually really sweet, really cute, and I can see everybody's goal with it. Everybody's like, I can see most people's goals within the storyline. I still felt like a lot of the acting was really weird. None of the actors in different mixes of the actors seem to really have a connection. So especially with best friends. So when New and Nat are on screen together, I don't see best friends. It's really awkward in a lot of places. And I don't know if it's because of Nat, because when New is with Z, especially in scenes where he's supposed to be this, like, I guess, like, obedient person, he does that well enough that it doesn't pull me out of the story, which is very important. If it was a situation where he was pulling me out of the story, I think I would have real issues with that, but he does it to a point where it doesn't pull me out of the story, which is really good. I just don't know. Like, I've seen where people like how New is able to switch from the sweet boy to the really, I don't know, is it supposed to be a bad boy or whatever itself, but I just call it his fake self and his authentic self. I've seen people say that they like the switching. I kind of prefer him better as his authentic self. I feel like maybe it's just also more comfortable for him. That's one of the things when it's like your first big role. It's easier for you when you're playing a character that is as close to your true self as possible. And maybe like that part is just closer to who he is, so he plays it a little better. Even though, like, it annoys me every time he has to perform because he keeps performing the same song over and over and over again. And I get it, it's the theme for the show, but you're telling me nobody could, like, just write at least one other song? Or are we saving that song for later? Like, write 3 songs for the whole show and have him perform all 3 songs in the show. Where did the guitar and piano and bass come from when he was performing? He's up on stage playing the drums and all the other instruments are playing, and I'm like, okay, is there like a DJ playing the rest of the stuff? Where is this noise coming from? Anyway, that's a whole nother part of this that I will eventually get to. But yeah, like I said, I want to try and focus on some of the good things that I liked, because I do like New, especially since this is his first drama. I can't really be overly critical of him because I feel like he's doing a pretty good job compared to, like, sometimes when they get newcomers, because a lot of time they get newcomers because they just want to pay them cheaper. But he feels very natural in the role for a lot of the parts, especially for the comedy bits. I think because when I was reading on Drama List what he's done before, it looks like he's been a host on shows before, and someone who's like a host of things can, if they have really good comedic timing, they can probably play a comedic role pretty well. So that could be the situation where he was able to just transfer that comedic timing from hosting to the drama very well. And I actually do think his comedic timing is pretty good. So yeah, I'm not really overly critical of him. I just want to see better, mainly. I think, you know what? I think it's just Dew and Nat that are throwing me off in the whole thing. For me, like, in the beginning when we first see Nat, he's so uncomfortable to me because everything he does feels like counting paces. And I was really wondering, is this like the first scene that they shot with Nat and New? Because that whole thing was just so uncomfortable with the thumbs up and all that. Nothing about that felt natural. And I did wonder, like, did the editor really look at that and was like, yeah, that's the best shot? Did the director look at that and was like, good enough? Like, how did this work? Because it, like, the whole interaction with Nat just feels so uncomfortable. And I do wonder, did they bring him back because he was a favorite? Did a lot of people like his character? Does he have like the fan base, or does he and Max have the fan base from their coupling in Why Are You, that they had to bring them back for this? And which makes me go, were they trying to get Saint for this show? Because the guy, I'm not gonna lie, looks a little like Saint when he does his face in certain things. I'm like, it kind of reminds me of Saint. And it does make me wonder, was it like they wanted Saint to come back for this as well, but he turned down the role? Because it feels like they're trying to create fighter and tutor as far as like the look, like the aesthetic in some ways. So that is another thing too, I guess. Now, as far as, let's just go to the characters and the show. As far as Lian and Kuea, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get roasted. As far as Lian and Kuea, I do think everything in the first episode I actually liked. Their entire interaction with Lian, letting it be known that he's agreed to the arranged marriage because of what Kuea's grandfather asked him, and the fact that the engagement almost ends basically, or as far as Kuea cares to admit, or as far as Kuea is concerned, it has ended because Lian has admitted that he's actually not in love with Kuea and is really just going through with the marriage out of duty. Now, of course, yes, if you hear that someone that you feel like you've fallen deep in love with or you care so much about is only just going with the flow with you, I could see how that, of course, destroys you and makes you sad. But I also see Lian's view where he's like, we don't have to be in love. There's people who are married who are not in love every day. And I'm a believer in marriages where everybody just agree on and y'all just do your thing. It's not my business. I am not in your marriage. So I see his view on that as well, where he's just like, yeah, let's just get married. I mean, it's not like we have to actually love each other. We just have to take care of each other and watch out for each other and let that be the end of it. So I saw Lian's view as well in it, and I'm glad that Kuea stood up for himself and made it clear that he wants love, but also glad that Lian lets him know that I don't know you. Like, you're like Annabelle. That line I didn't really get. I'm like, what, is he like a haunted doll, or is he saying that when you're with me you just seem possessed because I don't know who you truly are? You're just walking around and doing whatever I do. That's what I think it is, and that's what I'm getting from it, I guess. And I like seeing in episodes 2 and 3 with Lian wanting to now get to know the real Kuea. Like, he's really intrigued and wants to know, who is he? Who is this person that I've been missing out on? And of course, as we can see at the end of episode 1 and the beginning of episode 2 with Zakis, he definitely is falling in love with this Q because it's the authentic Q, and I think this is just like a really great, story of just being yourself no matter what, no matter what you think somebody will think of who you are, because here he is really intrigued and enjoying Q in his original form, more than he enjoyed the doe-eyed guy that just followed him and did whatever he told him to. So the second couple in the series is Yi and Kuea, and they're not goals. They're not a couple. They're a couple. They're just not one I like. The way Yi treats Kuea is just horrible, like completely disgusting as far as I'm concerned. Like, Lian treats Q in a strict manner as well, like when he was late, letting him know you're 9 minutes late, but it came off more as, I don't like tardiness in anyone. I don't accept tardiness from anyone in my life because I myself am not tardy. That's what it came off as. Because even then, he's like, I booked dinner at your favorite restaurant, even though he was like, I never said it was my favorite French restaurant, but sure. Which goes to him hiding his authentic self. Like, so of course, Lian is just going off of what he is presented. But yeah, it like the way Yi treats Kuea is like this really horrible, controlling, toxic relationship that I just cannot find anything romantic in it. Oh, he worries about me. He tells you to come home now and then just leaves. It's like he wants to confine him to his condo and never allow him to go anywhere. I don't see the romance. I'm sorry. I mean, I've said before that I really don't like the fact that we accept a lot of toxic behaviors to be romanticized in BL dramas, because it's a not just BL dramas, just BL series in general. Because it's a BL series and it's 2 minutes, like all of a sudden it's not taken as seriously because of that, I guess. And I don't like that these things are romanticized, because it's not romantic. It's dangerous. It's scary. And it's scary to think like how many people would look at a relationship like that and go, oh, that's so sweet. He worries about him. He's controlling his every move. He's telling him where he can and can't go, basically. Like what time you need to be home and all that stuff. If I looked at that relationship, I would think it's a father and their child, and their minor child, with how controlling it is. It's disturbing. It honestly is disturbing to me. And I don't know if focusing on Yi and Kuea's relationship more would change my perspective of it. If anything, I don't know if I can watch the series for their relationship and their relationship development, because it's to me creepy. Now to you, maybe you find it romantic and these behaviors romantic, and as long as the consenting individuals have agreed that this is the way that the relationship will be treated, then I don't know, the Godspeed to you, I guess. For me, it's just not, there's nothing romantic about it. Now, of course, there's a third couple that hasn't been fully introduced yet. They kind of just did their first meeting in episode 3. And we'll see more of them as time goes on, of course, but I'm not really going to cover them because one of the characters only just started, and it seems that he's interested in Q, so we'll see where that goes. Now, as far as a lot of the side characters in the show, like Q's friends, who are the only students in his class, I was like, when I saw that, I was like, this this definitely was filmed during the pandemic, but it's so weird to me that they're able to get background people for everything else except that. But I guess with all the other scenes, because they're only going to shoot there once, it's different versus having to have people continuously come back day after day to shoot the scenes at the college in classrooms to keep like the same actors each day. And also depending on their budget, I can see why if they like spent money to get this space for the garage to show them working in this class, I can see why they would have been like, yeah, we're only gonna bring the main actors for this one. I can see that as well, because this, even though I do feel like the production quality is actually pretty good, they got some good cameras for this, I do still see where they may have tried to cut costs here and there. Maybe some of their budget went to shooting on the outside of that beautiful house, the Cutie mansion, shooting in that classroom for the college as well, and of course all the actors and everything that they have to pay. Sorry, some background noise there. That they have to pay for. I can see them trying to cut cost on a lot of background actors, of course. So I don't necessarily hate it, but it made one of the lines really weird where the professor is saying that their group is the only one with space, and I'm just supposed to fill in the blank that the rest of the class, like everybody else, meets up at different times and their group doesn't have space. Because if there was background actors for that scene and we saw every other group had like 7 people or something like that, and then coming over like, yeah, your group is the only one that kind of needs one more, then we can, actually see it. But him just coming over saying that, I'm like, I guess I'm supposed to just imagine that there's other groups. I was like, man, this must be a special class. Only 5 people, 6 people in it, huh? Interesting. But so far for the show, all in all, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10 because I can see what they're trying to do in the story that they're trying to put out, and they have Perth. So I'm also biased in that because I do love me some Perth. Where's he from? New Zealand? Is that it? I can't remember. I just know I love him from My Engineer the series, and I am so happy to see him in this as well. And I can't wait to see the other VL that he's supposed to be in. I hope he's still in that. Was he in the ad? Oh my gosh. I think he was, yeah. I just went off there and I cannot wait for that one to come up because I think we're focusing on this. So yeah, so far for me, it's going to be a 6 out of 10. It has a really high possibility of dropping lower because I honestly have not fallen in love with the show or anything, but it is still keeping my interest, and I do believe that I will continue to watch it and finish my playlist on it and watch the whole thing. I don't know if I'm going to watch it all in one sitting, or I'm going to just keep watching it watch it all in one sitting after it's finished airing, all 12 episodes of ours are out, or if I will continue watching it weekly. I'm going to see where I fall on that, but it definitely has me interested. I'm definitely loving it. I'm definitely want to see what it has to offer, and I actually really like Z in this role. I think he does a pretty good job in this. I know a lot of people agree he's not the greatest actor, and I will not disagree with that, but I actually do like him in this role. I think this is a better fit for him. But yeah, let me know what you think. I am on Instagram, Facebook, all is time for BL. You can check out the link tree in the description to give me a follow. Also, don't forget to click on the audiobooks now link to purchase your book. Thank you guys so much for listening. This is JD Young, and thank you for making some time for BL.